Hi guys. Welcome back to the pod. Today we are going to be doing a part 2 of our People's Court.
Yeah.
Back by popular demand, and we are the ones that demanded it.
Yeah. So real.
And we're going to be reading more stories from Reddit and sentencing more criminals.
Sentencing more people who do not respect the law.
Respect for the law.
These are a little bit more centered on friendships.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I feel like it's easy to sentence people in relationships. People are always talking about that, like, oh, jail for the way he did you.
Yeah.
But people don't acknowledge the fact that some of y'all friends need to be in jail.
Some of y'all friends need to go to jail for bad behavior.
They need to serve a sentence for the way that they're treating y'all. And then vice versa. Y'all need to be serving y'all sentences.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're a bad friend, it's not okay to just like get away with stuff like that.
No.
You won't hear.
No.
Not in
the People's Court.
Yeah.
And without further ado, let's get it.
Let's get into it. Okay. All right. So first story. It's a girl. She said, got invited on a trip for a week with my 2 friends. One of the friends was my best friend of 6 years, and she was so insistent on me coming, despite me not having much money to throw at the time. I ended up going, and the whole week was her insulting me, being passive-aggressive, making snarky comments, and giving me looks while acting completely normal and nice to everybody else.
Yeah.
There was nothing to inspire this, or so it seemed. I confronted her at the end of the week alone, to which she started pitying herself and barely said an apology. After the trip, she made no mention of it, but would refer to the trip as something we don't talk about or traumatic, when she was the only source of trauma there. My other friends sensed this too, which I discovered after talking to her, but they didn't want to be nosy. So, I mean, it's a long story. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but basically they ended up falling out, and she got close with the other friend.
Okay.
So it's like they both kind of realized that this friend was a little toxic.
Yeah, and stop doing that with her. Okay. Just one thing from the story that I found interesting is the one referring to that time period is like, oh, that's a traumatic time period. Like, like a friendship traumatic.
Yeah.
You know, friendships have like rocky periods. There's like that tweet when it's like, you have that friend that y'all stop talking for like months and y'all just never mention it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that happens. And it's like both of y'all experienced that.
Yeah.
But I find it interesting that she's like, oh, that's the time we don't speak about. Like, no, the time that you were harassing me on a trip.
I think the thing is, you can say that was a rocky time, but to say we don't speak about it, like, that's kind of
But
crazy.
you can't even say it was a rocky time because it was a rocky time for you.
Yeah.
And you were taking it out on me.
Yeah.
So, like, if anything, I'm the one who went through something.
And I'm allowed to say what I have to say about it.
No, literally.
Yeah, that's actually so crazy.
What? I can't speak on it. You can't tell me.
You can't tell me, but it's like tormenting somebody on a girl's trip and then be like, but we don't talk about that.
Who? Who?
That is so funny, no, because I'm going to say my 2 cents. And also, it's really good that she had another diva that was there that could kind of like, you know, make sure that she wasn't tripping. Because it's actually so hard. Like, here's my take. When you're in a vulnerable situation financially, it could feel really bad to have to like ask for help or like go on a trip when all your girls like got it like that.
No.
And you're the only one.
Especially
Diva down for real.
Yeah. But especially if you already told your friend beforehand, like, I have no money, and she's like, just relax, like, it's okay. And then you get there and she starts dragging you.
Oh my
That's
God.
actually sick because you don't have money to pay for it. So it's like you have to just sit through it. Like,
you can't even change your room.
You can't do anything. You literally have no money. And it's like they know that.
That's so bad.
That's why they're torturing.
That's why she held it against her. I'm not sure what was going on in that relationship, but I would say maybe there was already like some secret levels of animosity because she said she was being nice to everybody else.
Yeah, there was animosity, and I honestly probably jealousy. Like, maybe she was trying to look good in front of the other girls. And she's like, I know I can drag her, and like she's just gonna be confused instead of like arguing. Yeah.
Crazy.
So she's like, let me just do like, I guess she felt like gagging her was gonna make her more popular with the other girls.
I guess. And my whole thing is like, if y'all want to know, like, if you have a bad friend, it's really important to like see how they act when you're in a time of need.
That's one, and then 2, to see how they act in big groups of people. Some people are so cool when it's just y'all kicking it, especially girls. Like, y'all are chilling, it's cool, it's fun. And then you guys get around like 5 other people or get around some guys and they start acting a fool.
That's so not okay.
No.
That's actually so not okay. And like, that's really, really sad for her. It's good that she left out with a different friend.
Yeah. Okay.
How do we feel?
Time for the sentencing.
She didn't do nothing that bad. She just wasn't really.
I don't know.
Okay.
Treating your friend like that when you know, see, the financial component is the thing that's really getting me.
Yeah, I think that hurts. That
hurts. Yeah. I'm gonna say, and then the other girl stopped being friends with her, so she did kind of like.
It was something going on.
Yeah, but I mean, she has lost friends, so that is kind of a sentence in its own.
Yeah.
I'll say a year.
Yeah, I'm gonna go, and for me, I would go with 6 months for her. I'm gonna go with 6 months because she did lose her friends. You know what I mean?
But who knows if she's changed though? She could have doubled it.
All right. A year.
I'm gonna go with that. It's a year for sure.
We'll give her a year.
And maybe 6 months probation.
And I'm gonna let you add that on there. I'm gonna let you add that. Yeah, she's a bad friend. Mm-hmm. All right, next one. My most toxic was 2 friends who I made because all 3 kids. I'm gonna start that over. No, because I'm like, she kind of wrote this the wrong way. That's how she wrote it, but I'm like, I don't know, it's making me feel dyslexic. Okay. My most toxic friendship was with 2 friends I made because all 3 of our kids went to preschool together. Really sweet, funny moms, and we all became very close. Over the course of 3 years, we all helped each other raise our kids together, and they heard all the details of the demise of my marriage. When the day came for my husband to move out, they both dropped me. Never called me or texted from that day to now. I was beyond shocked and heartbroken. It hurt worse than the divorce pain because at least I knew that was coming. I finally heard from a mutual friend that they both decided not to be my friend anymore because, quote unquote, divorced women are dangerous around married men, aka their husbands. Divorce can be contagious and she doesn't really fit in with us anymore.
What? That's crazy. Wait, she must have been badder than both of them because for them to even think that she can steal their husband after having a child and being divorced, and you think that she's still a hot.
Yeah, you think she's a hot. Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. Not saying that divorcees and people with children are not a hot commodity, but usually, like married women, I don't know, they don't feel threatened by women,
someone who's
like
down bad right now.
Like they think like, oh, young and like free,
like a woman with a situation.
Yeah, she's a woman with a situation.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Crazy.
That's awful. And it was the 2 of them together.
But like right when you think that they would have dropped her when she said she was getting a divorce. They dropped her right when the divorce was finalized and he moved out.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say I low-key feel like they were like trying to pretend to still be there for her to like save face a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then once it's over, then they're like, okay, we're going to dip out. Because they knew if they had left what she said she was getting divorced, I don't know, maybe they would have felt like that would have looked a little bit more.
No, it's way worse to stay friends with her. It's way worse.
Right after he moves out and now she doesn't have anyone.
That sucks.
Like a divorce in itself is already like such a hard time. And no one wants to go through it. And now she has to go through it alone because her 2 closest shallow ass friends.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
she doesn't fit in with us.
I feel like it must be the hardest thing in the world to like obviously be a mom and like find community, I guess, in a certain way. But
I find other mom friends that you don't hate.
But my thing is maybe you shouldn't only be friends because y'all are moms with kids.
But also, like, a lot of people don't think that's like a pretty valid reason to be friends.
Is, but
not any mom with kids, but your kids are friends with each other
in the same preschool.
You know, the same preschool. You don't have to get super close, but she was like, they were really sweet. Y'all ended up really bonding. That's someone you can talk to about motherhood. Yeah. You can even talk to, like, are you having a problem with this teacher? Because your kids go to the same school. Yeah. If you're having a hard time, they can pick up your child and vice versa. Like, I'm okay with those types of mothers. I feel like that's cool. Yeah. The problem is, I don't think that she did enough. Like, she obviously was going through a hard time when she met them. I think that she was missing the signs because she so desperately needed people in her corner.
Probably.
They were probably giving signs of those moms that think that they're better than other moms. Yeah. They probably did talk, like, gossip about other women and stuff like that. But it's like, she felt like it didn't matter because I could talk to them about my divorce happening, about my husband. Yeah. Like, I have people to lean on.
It's giving like the 3 women from White Lotus. I swear I'm not ever going to talk about it again. I swear.
Yeah, but like that is sick.
No, it's beyond sickening. And then I feel like the biggest thing to me, the standout, is the whole thing. We don't want single women around our husbands. Okay, did she ever give sleeves?
Right.
I don't think she ever gave.
But like the reason is that y'all are centering men. y'all are choosing this man over a friendship with this woman?
Personally, I feel
She don't ever have to be around your husband. Y'all can go hang out with her.
Separately.
She never has to come over.
when I feel like people expose themselves when they say things like that because or you're exposing your husband.
Yeah.
Because my thing is like, why would your husband even go for that?
Why?
Why are you even thinking about
Why is that even a thought?
Like, I'm not saying that, like, if you're married, I'm not saying that, like, all your friends should be single.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that's your man.
That's your man.
Like, why would he want...
No, literally.
And then vice versa.
That's your man and the father of your children. So that's sick.
And so y'all have some cheating husbands. That's what that's telling me. Y'all had to drop her because she was too hot to be single.
She was too hot.
That's really sad.
Yep.
Yeah, I felt that loss. That's a really, really sad story.
And they both have cheating husbands and they bond over that. No, literally.
And I wonder if the one who, the woman who was telling the story, I wonder if her husband was a cheater, which is why they got divorced. Because they could all have cheating husbands. And then
she probably would have mentioned that, though, if they said something about their husband cheating.
Yeah.
They could have just been having a divorce, but what they knew was that this woman stands on business. And these are two women who don't. So she dodged a bullet. Because they didn't even tell her why they stopped being friends.
I think that's the part that I hate the most. As I am so anti-ghosting, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
And it's not even like, oh, I'm like shouting to the void of my own personal experience. No, I have always felt like ghosting is the slimiest thing to do.
It's the grimiest
Especially like, okay, sometimes, and hey, this is coming from me. I'm not the best communicator, so I'm not even about to sit on this couch and lie to y'all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sit in this courtroom and lie to you guys. You can make it.
Tearing me up.
You can make it. No, it's so itchy. I'm not even going to sit in this courtroom and lie to you guys. I'm not the best communicator. But I feel like if someone ever, like, say if there was a little bit of time in between me getting back to someone, if they ever reached out to me on some, hey, why are we talking? You're getting a response immediately. I am not about to sit there knowing that you feel uncomfortable in our relationship and leave you high and dry like that. I would never do that. Even if it's to tell you it's over, I'm definitely going to give you the closure that you're seeking. I think it's really kind of sinister.
I've done it before in a past life, so I can't even speak on it.
Hey, and we learn and we grow.
We learn and we grow. But those women right here, if we're talking about sentences,
I'll leave nobody in a hard place like that.
I'm only giving a little bit of leniency because both of them have children.
Oh, girl, whatever.
Just a little bit of leniency, so I'm not going to give them life. I would give them life if they didn't have children, and they just let that grow like that.
That's so crazy.
But I think I'll give them 10 years without parole.
10 years without parole.
10 years excessive?
I mean, they're just shitty people. I think, in all honesty, she dodged a bullet from not.
See, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, she dodged a bullet. I'm not even thinking. Maybe 5 years without parole.
Yeah, I think 5 years. That's good.
5 years will suffice. They're already miserable people.
Yeah, 5 years. And, you know, maybe they'll figure themselves out after the fact.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really good.
Yeah.
All right, this one is really kind of long, so I'm going to try to shorten it, but kind of interesting. All right. I moved to a new school in 8th grade and quickly fell into this group of friends. I got along with all of them really quickly, but there was this one girl I got a weird vibe from. I tried to brush it off since the other girls got along with her, so I figured it was just me. Cut to high school, she and I ended up having a couple of classes together, and I figured it was an opportunity for us to get closer. We spent a lot of time talking, had some really great conversations, and I started feeling really close to her. Then, all of a sudden, I found out from another friend that she'd been relaying some of the stories I told her, but added some embellishments. I figured she just misunderstood at first, so I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Then, at the beginning of sophomore year, I went to homecoming with this guy who had a crush on me for a while. I was not that interested in him. He brought me home. He asked if he can kiss me. I told him he was nice, but I didn't want to do that. He was fine with that. He gave me a hug, and he drove home. The guy happened to be that girl's neighbor. So when he drove in the driveway, she called me and asked, how did it go? I told her everything I mentioned above, said I had a good time in general, but I wasn't into him. That Monday morning, I got on the school bus and sat next to another friend of mine. She frantically said, oh my gosh, did you go to the hospital? I was insanely confused and asked her, what was she talking about? She said that friend said that guy raped you on the way home from the dance.
Oh my gosh.
I was so furious. As soon as she walked in, I told her that what she told people was incredibly effed up and how much trouble the guy could get in if that rumor spread. She laughed and said she was joking and that I didn't have a sense of humor.
What?
I ended up speaking to the principal. He was kind of at a loss and didn't really know what to do since that was obviously a weird situation. She ended up getting expelled later that year for different reasons, so I never saw her again. But unfortunately, a couple people took her side over mine. So even her being a lying psychopath, it ended up hurting my friendships. And it gave me trust issues, and I have trouble opening up to people now.
That's crazy.
That's absolutely
Wait, that's crazy, and that's such a coming of age story.
That-
Every girl had like a crazy friend in middle school.
Yeah, that's
That
so
like
true.
even if they go into high school
That's
with you
so
as
true.
well,
Yeah.
everyone has like maybe not a story that crazy.
Yeah.
But like that just like brought me back. It's weird, but I had like a heartwarming listening to that story.
I was like,
because
dude,
it's like that friend that everybody like you have a problem with them, but nobody else can see it. Oh my god!
It's always like that. Like you see something sinister on this girl.
Yes.
It's like, no, her, she's cool.
No, yeah, she's really fun.
I'm like, she's evil personified.
Yeah.
And y'all go see.
Y'all gonna see it. Y'all don't know, but it's there.
My thing is, if you hang out with that person, it's always like if you see it, other people don't. It's because that person's coming for you, and you're gonna be the one that ends up suffering.
Yeah.
It's like, if you have that, get out.
She's actually so strong though for going straight to the principal. Stronger than I would have been in high school because I would have been like, she's insane and just stopped talking to her.
Yeah.
But then some crazy stuff probably would have gone down. That girl said, you gotta clear my name from this.
Immediately, I think what's so crazy is that you go from like little embellishments to full on rape. That's insane.
But like, what kind of fantasies are you having in your head? Like, you're literally lying to people, not about yourself getting raped, about me getting raped. That's so weird.
I think that to me, that's the craziest.
No, like, that's actually really insane. Like, can you imagine talking to someone and they're like, oh no, like, Claire told me that you were raped yesterday. I'm like, what?
Wait, that's actually so insane.
Like, that is insane.
Because it's not even like she wants to start drama in her own life. Because do that with your own.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like she's lying about stuff that's happened to her because that's giving someone, they want attention, they want pity, whatever it is.
Right.
But it's like, are you daydreaming about me being assaulted?
Well, yes, that's what she was doing. That's so insane. And then not only are you lying on me, you're also lying on the neighbor.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so here's my thing too. You gotta be really like weary of people who want to check in with you and know all your details.
Yeah, for real.
Because she called her as soon as he put out the out the driveway. I think that's kind of insane.
Yeah.
She was waiting to get the details, but the weirdest part about it, you already knew what story you were going to tell.
Yeah.
So why did you even need to? Because she didn't say a single thing that was true. She said, I just wanted to make sure that there was some form of discomfort there. That's giving
me to the hospital. She like immediately called the other friends and like, guess what?
And that's actually so sad because it's not only is that a traumatic situation, obviously, for people who that really happens to. But like now you have it looking like she cried rape because now she's saying like,
But also for people's friends. Like if someone told me my friend got raped and I'm like freaking out overnight and then I see them and I'm like, are you okay? And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm going to be so pissed at that person that told me that. Like, are you kidding?
Really pissed? But I do see, even though like I am going to believe usually like my friend who's in my face, but I feel like
I'm believing the person that it happened to.
Well, the person that it happened to, but I'm saying she was in her face at the time.
Yeah.
And versus the one that called you to tell you a little.
But I mean, the person, you don't think that someone on the phone would lie.
But that's the issue. Yeah. Now I'm sitting here, I'm really confused.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like, one of y'all are lying, and
the person who is. I mean, there's an obvious
perpetrator.
The person, if someone is saying that they did not get raped,
yeah,
then the person who said they got raped is lying.
But it's like, well, then why would she lie about something like that?
I know, that's when you get into crazy mode. Like, why would you lie about that?
Very much detective. I would have definitely been very like,
that is crazy. This one's a psychopath. She got expelled the next
about something else.
About something else. 10 years no probation.
And I'm giving you, I don't know. I feel like she'll probably go on to tell crazier stories. I'm gonna have to give her at least like 20 years. I did that. Sideways. Oops. No, I would give her 20 years.
20 years?
No probation for sure.
Yeah, no parole.
No parole.
No parole. Yeah, we're saying definitely probation when she gets out.
Yeah, like, oh no, I think she might die. I'm like, she might pick the wrong fight to lie about somebody.
No, that's true.
You might have to do your time and finish it.
Yeah.
Sorry, girl. Hannah, that's a crazy story.
Sorry to that woman.
All right. I ended up friends with a girl who, for some messed up reason, I admired her and how talented she was, even though for years before we became friends, we were arch enemies. We had an insane amount in common, but for some ridiculous reason, we would just butt heads and leave each other really hurt. But still, I pretty much worshipped her. We became friends pretty easily when we both piped down, but I was so insecure, but I always thought she secretly hated me, even though we would spend every second of every day talking to one another. I would think she would talk about me with other girls, etc., and that she had really low opinions of me because of our bad history. Because of this, I would send her presents and tokens of appreciation just to gain quote-unquote points. But really, I always felt the same. It was draining to always feel that someone you were pretty much in love with platonically could potentially dislike me or even just small elements of me. We were both toxic for each other and haven't spoken for 2 years. And while we live continents apart, we are still almost complete doppelgangers. Doppelgangers. And both the clothes we wear, makeup, hobbies, and lifestyle. We probably have the potential to totally understand one another, but because of our sensitivities, we just do not.
One thing I noticed in this story.
Yeah.
She kept saying our when it sounded like all one-sided.
It was very one-sided.
It sounded like you're the problem.
And how dare you say platonically, you're in love with her.
Yeah, she said
Romantically.
someone I'm in love with platonically. People don't use that verbiage.
No.
People don't say that. You can just say a friend that I really love or something like that. She said I'm in love with someone I'm in love with platonically.
No, honey, that's not how it works. You can have love for a person, but to be in love,
she's
requires a bit of
her
romance.
saying that she felt so bad to the point where she started giving this girl gifts for cool points. Yeah, that's
the thing that I thought was the most interesting. You're giving her gifts on things that haven't even.
I can tell if she kept saying I felt so low and felt like there were parts of me that this person didn't like. Was that person saying that, or are these?
She would have given proof.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no proof of that.
Yeah.
So her being like, we were toxic for each other, and even though we such and such, it's like, it sounds like it's just you.
It sounds like a complete fabricated story that she had in her head.
That she's just made up.
Because I think what's so interesting is her also saying even though in the beginning they were kind of like enemies, but it's because she admired her so much and she thought she was so amazing.
Yeah.
And then she's like, now she's living on the other side of the world, but we practically are the exact same person. According to who?
According to who?
According to who?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's just not.
And her saying we live the same lifestyle. Is that your authentic lifestyle, or are you trying to live the life that she's living? This is actually kind of scary.
No, I think that it's really scary to have somebody feel that way about you.
Yeah.
And to just be like, we just have so much love for each other. That's why it just couldn't work. I think that you are truly insane.
Yeah. I think there's something wrong with this person.
I think you need to be sent to a mental hospital. I'm not joking. I think. Yeah, because even if it's okay to be in love with her. But I'm saying, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think you would do harm to this person.
I think so, too. So I think that for this sentencing, restitution, first of all, because she's a victim here. The friend that's in a different country is
okay. I thought you were talking about her.
You need to pay her a fine.
Yeah.
I guess we can speak and discuss with the lawyers on what the fine is going to be.
Right.
But you owe her some money for pain and suffering. That's one.
Yeah.
2, I'm sentencing you to a mental facility.
Yes.
Where you will reside for 5 years. And for the 5 years after you get out, similar to people who have probation officers, you will have a doctor or somebody check in on you for those 5 years. And if you do
mandated therapy.
Court mandated therapy.
Yeah.
If you don't go to therapy, if the person and within these next 5 years sees that you're slipping up again, you're going back to the facility and you're just going to stay there.
And you're going to stay there.
Indefinitely.
Yeah, indefinitely. And I'm not going to circle back around to this case.
No, I'm not circling back around. So 5 years mental hospital, pay that girl, $2,000.
And that's light work.
That's light work.
You lucky.
What?
You're very, very lucky.
We let her off the hook because there's obviously something missing up there.
There's something kind of not right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I got 2 more stories left, just so you know.
Okay.
All right, so let's throw a guy in there. I'm a 26-year-old man, and I've been best friends with a man, also 26, for 13 years now.
Oh.
I helped him create his character. I helped him with every problem he had, even if it included money or just physical stuff. I helped him get over his anxiety problems and his antisocial character, all because he wanted to. Last weekend, I got married in front of the law on Saturday. In front of the law. Okay, who else you give?
Yeah, what?
Interesting. On Saturday and had a party on Sunday. He didn't come on Saturday because he had a meeting at work. I didn't think much of it because it was work related. The next day he came to my wedding, sat down for 30 minutes, and then just left. When I asked my other friends where he went, they told me they didn't know. I thought that something might have happened because why would he leave my wedding otherwise? And I asked my friends to call or text him to ask him about it.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, I learned that he went out to meet his other friends just to hang out with them. So basically,
Ooh.
basically he didn't care about me nor my wedding. Even my wife was shocked because even she knows that we were inseparable. But yeah, I just now noticed that it wasn't mutual. Or am I just taking it out of proportion? What's your advice?
I think that his friend is in love with her. Or this is what I'll say.
Oh, that's a crazy good take.
No, my take is I think that his friend, even if it's not romantic love.
Yeah.
If we're talking platonic love now. All right.
You love your
he loves his homeboy. And I think that he doesn't know how to deal with the fact that he's getting married.
Yes.
And I think that it was too much for him. He couldn't come to the wedding.
No.
He couldn't see them actually get married because that would be too much.
Yeah.
And then when he came to the party, he was like, I just need to show my face and try my hardest.
Yeah.
It's the 30 minutes was the toughest 30 minutes he ever did.
Ever had to
and he said he had to go.
Wow. You know what? That's crazy.
That's exactly what happened. That's what I think. Especially because the other friend is constantly talking about, like he said, I helped him do this, do this, do this. It seems like the guy who didn't get married has had a hard time.
Yeah.
These past 13 years that they've been friends. Mm-hmm. And the other guy, if you have all that time to help this person, you're obviously fine.
Yeah.
You might be going through a few things, but like you're a pretty level-headed person.
Yeah.
This guy probably feels like one of the best things in his life is about to be taken from him. Because truly, that guy has to start, like, thinking about, if he hasn't already started, because this woman is his wife, so he's probably been dating her for a while. Like, she's the priority. When he has kids, he can't be helping you with your anxiety. He has to help his children with da-da-da.
Yeah.
You know? So
That's
he
really
probably
sad.
Feels like, dog. Like,
he probably feels like he just lost like the closest thing to him, which is so sad because I don't know, something about the relationship to me is kind of giving codependent.
Yeah.
So I feel, to be honest, I actually don't think that even after being married or having kids, I actually think he would still very much be there for him.
Yeah, it seems like they have.
For a lot of times, it's not always intentional, but a lot of times, like, it could be a case where you're going through something mentally. Mm-hmm. And if your friend really does care about you, they will work really hard to like see you become a better person.
Yeah.
In turn, like they're afraid of you harming yourself or afraid of something happening to you. So it seems like he did all those things, yes, out of like the goodness of his heart, but also like maybe there was this kind of like, you know, codependency in the sense of like, I can't leave him alone because he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, there's definitely a codependency.
There is something there because even then, even okay, he didn't show up to his wedding. He's still giving him the benefit of the doubt because he don't sound that mad typing this Reddit thing. He don't sound that upset.
But also, no, I can see it because at first I was like, why is he like? It's one person missing from your wedding, but that's 13 years. That's his best friend, and like he said to his wife, like she was shocked because we're inseparable. Like, but I guess it's just one-sided. They have a bond that is getting to the point of being unhealthy.
Yes.
Because it's to the point where other people in their lives can't come in.
Yes.
Because it feels like a threat to their bond.
Because it feels like a threat, and that's exactly what it is. He hasn't said it yet, but I'm sure there were signs of him not wanting him to marry this person.
Yeah.
And my thing is, no, your best friend does need to be at your wedding, but I do think like he did try to do the reasonable thing at first, which is ask, why isn't he here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where did he go? You just hear that on your wedding day, you were there for 30 minutes, and then you just went to go hang out with other friends.
Yeah.
He's already trying to replace him.
Yeah.
For his next victim.
I don't even think that it's more replacing. I think that he's thinking like, you know what? I don't need him. Like I have other people too. Like
that's what they do.
He was probably especially for him to see, like he saw him and then he just disappeared. He didn't even notice that he had left like while he was leaving.
Yeah.
He probably saw him with his wife and with the rest of their friends and thinking like, I don't belong here anymore. You know, not trying to turn this into a movie scene.
Real Lifetime.
But like a Lifetime movie, but for real. Like I think it had to be something like that.
I think
because 13 years.
13 years is a long time.
Like, I don't think he was trying to dog him out in that way.
But 13 years of a close friendship. And again, they stayed in the same city. They probably saw each other every weekend. Like, that's a very strong one.
I am going to sentence this man.
I want him to get some mental help.
I'm going to sentence him to a year of court-mandated therapy.
I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I think he should do more than that, though. They seem to just a little too... Well, 26 is not bad.
Yeah.
But I think he might need a couple of years because it's not just... he already was suffering with his own anxiety problems, but he also has an attachment disorder.
But he can continue the therapy after the year. This year is just court mandated. Like, you for sure have to go to therapy for a year.
For a year. You have to complete a year.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so period. I think that's a good...
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
So we're
empathetic. You know, we have a heavy hand, but for justice. And I think justice was served in that case.
Justice was served in this. All right, let me find my next one. This one is like really crazy.
Okay.
When I was 14, my friend, who I had known since I was 5, told my mother that she was concerned about me. She was concerned, she claimed, because she said I was a prostitute who snuck out at night to turn tricks. In reality, I was a virgin, and of course, I was not a prostitute. My mother responded by treating me as though I were a dirty whore and sent me off to live with my dad, who I barely knew. My mother lamented to everyone that I was basically Mari show material, including all of my extended family members and her coworkers. Consequently, they treated me as such. Why did my friend do this? Because the boy we both like decided that he likes me better than her. I think that when you cross the line and start talking to people's family members about them, you are diabolical.
Yeah.
Why get the parents involved?
Yeah.
Why get the
She was extra diabolical because they known each other for 9 years at that point. She knew how that girl's mom was going to react.
She knew exactly.
She knew what to say to get her to react like that because the mother's reaction was very strange. And it's a reaction that not every mother has. So with that being said, that girl knew that girl's mom was not right,
send her away.
And send her away. And she said, let me think of the thing that I can say. And she said prostitution.
Well, you know what's so interesting, though? It also is a really good way to get her away from the guy that y'all like.
I mean, it's a way.
It's a way.
Like, you literally, like, a normal teen at that age would have just told the boy, like, lies about her.
Yeah.
Or been like, oh, she doesn't even want you.
True.
Or she could have told the boy that the girl was a prostitute.
Yeah.
Like,
that is a way. But
that girl, she was on some evil.
She was on evil stuff. Because let me tell you something. You, like I keep saying, you don't have to tell nobody's parents.
No, you
don't. I know for me, like, it maybe, like, call me, like, immature, whatever. I've just never been the type of person that felt the need to go run tell somebody's family about anything. Even at my big age, you're not gonna know what that is.
No.
I feel like I'm not about to sit here if I'm dating somebody. What I look like snitching on their mom or their dad about them.
Yeah.
I don't have a relationship. Like my relationship is not with their parents, it's with you. So it's like I think people when they do that, it's like I'm gonna tell your mom so she can tell you to get it. That's pathetic.
That's crazy.
I think that's a very it's sad.
But it's not like I'm gonna tell your mom for you to get it together because I care about you. It's like, I'm going to tell your mom, like, this is the end of our friendship, so I'm telling your mom, like, all this stuff.
Yeah.
That is, like, diabolical.
It is. It's awful. I think they don't need to know. I guess for me, what do you gain?
What from that? She wanted her to get sent away.
She wanted her, but that's what I'm saying. Y'all want terrible things to happen to people. And my thing is just let go and really just let God, because I'm saying, like, truly, whatever's going to happen to that person will happen naturally if they're as bad as you think they are. Do not go out of your way trying to enforce some type of revenge on someone. Yeah. Because now you're getting in sinister territory.
It was so much. There's so many easier things to do before doing that.
Just stop being her friend. But also, that's one thing on the friend. The mother.
No, the mom is the one that's getting the harshest sentencing.
Yeah, because she said she didn't even know her dad.
The mom and the family members. And the court workers. Because you don't treat a child like that just because you think they're hoeing around. That's crazy.
With no proof. You don't even have
no proof. You have no proof.
It's a crazy thing to kick somebody out the house, because you would think even like originally a parent would want to make sure that their kid is not prostituting. Yeah. And what did she say, like 14?
Yeah.
I would be a little bit more concerned with like, how did we get here? And then obviously, I don't know.
Well, is she bringing strange men home? Why are you sending her away?
She's sending her away because she's ashamed. Which is why which is weird though, she's ashamed, but then she goes on to tell her coworkers, goes on to tell the rest of the family.
It's because she has to let people know that she's not a part of that. Like, my daughter is the host. She's the one doing all this stuff. I'm not, like, condoning it or letting it happen. She just won't listen to me.
I think it's really important to believe your children.
It's so important.
I can't imagine having kids and like believing one of their little friends over my own child.
Over my child.
That's crazy.
Like, some people, they'll believe adults over children, which is still sad. Yeah. But believing another child over your child is crazy.
You hate your child.
You literally hate your child, yeah.
Because that person, that don't even sound right. You have no proof of her. She said she was a virgin.
Yeah.
You have no proof of that. She's probably been very innocent. Yeah. Not really innocent her whole entire life. You were looking for a reason to get rid of her.
And so
get rid of. Yeah.
Time.
Let's send this to friend first. The friend knew that was going to ruin her life. I mean, I get that y'all are 14, but she did that with malicious intent.
10 years in juvie, 2 years of probation afterwards. When she gets out, she'll be 24. She's okay.
24 is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mother, 25 to life, no parole.
That's so real because
That's real.
Yeah.
Because she just ruined her daughter's life over something like that.
she ruined her daughter's life over nothing. That's actually so insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
25 to life with no parole.
And she can go to jail and tell people in there.
Yeah,
the
you
little
can talk
false
to people
stories.
in jail
Yeah.
about all that. Her other family members that were treating her,
Yeah.
each one gets a year in jail and a year of probation
Real. That's actually so real.
because they were treating her so wrong.
they
over
were
that.
doing her dirty and she's 14.
And she's 14.
I feel so bad.
And restitution. The mom needs to give her some money.
She needs to give her money, yeah. Oh, and it's unfortunate, though, because now she has to live with her dad. Does she want to live with her dad?
We don't know, but guess what? This money is going to help her for when she has to leave and go to college and all that
Yeah.
stuff because her mom not going to be there because her mom is serving a life sentence.
That's so true.
So, $50,000 paid. If her mom has
because she's in jail.
because she's in jail, she's not going to need it.
Yeah.
But if her mom has a job, people make $50,000 a year. I'm not saying that you don't get taxed out, but her mom should at least have $50,000
Well, of
or
course she
something.
does because she got to just put her house up because she's in jail. Nobody's
Yeah,
going to live there.
she's in jail. Yeah.
So, she, truly, unless the family, wants to claim it or something, but I say sell it so she can give her that $50,000.
Yeah.
You won't need that money when you are in jail.
No.
You won't.
And as an adult is realizing that $50,000 is not that much money.
It's a sad thing.
It's really sad, but
sad
it's
thing. That ain't
literally
nothing.
people who make $50,000 a year are living on the poverty line, or maybe sometimes even below the poverty.
$50,000 a year, I think, is below the poverty line.
But it depends on how many children you have, because someone just graduated
as
from
a
college.
single person making
as a single
$50,000,
person making 50,000 and you're 22, you just graduated college, you can have roommates and not be living in complete poverty. But if you're making 50,000, you have 3 kids and a husband, there's 5 of y'all in the house, that's desolate. You're living in
That's so
terrible
true.
times. The times are bleak for you. Real.
Bleak is crazy. No, that's actually so real. That's really bad. No,
Yeah.
that's true. 50,000 though, yeah. It needs to be paid to her once she hits 18.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't be before, because then the family might mismanage her money.
Yep.
We don't know the kind of person her father is. He might try to use that money to his advantage. So he can't touch that money. It gets deposited into her account once she
At
turns 18. That's that. No.
And we actually just did so much justice for her.
We did.
Now I feel like we just ate that.
We
food.
helped for her. I hope that, it'd be so crazy if one of, the people who, was typing these stories.
Oh my gosh, if they saw this video, I want her to know that there is justice out there for her.
Yeah.
And that if we were the judge, those people would have paid. And those people deserve to pay in the law.
Yeah.
In the justice system.
They do. I feel like she needs to know there are people out there that will take her case.
That was an especially heinous case. That's given as a SVU.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you have a parent that's the one that's against you.
Yeah.
It may have started with a friend, but she just planted the seed.
Yeah, she
the
did.
parent was the one who took all the extra steps, even kicking her out of the house.
Yep.
That's a crazy thing to do to your own blood.
Yep.
With a man that, if they don't know that man, you didn't really know that man.
Olivia Benson would have been all over this case.
She would have been Detective Tutuola.
Tutuola! It would have started off, the episode would have started off of that girl talking about how her friend is such a hoe and such this and such that. And they would have been trying to investigate, who's pimping her out. So Tutuola would have been asking all of the prostitutes in the area, have you seen this girl?
Yeah.
Does she roll around here? We know that she's been prostituted. The mom would have been like, my daughter's a skank. I don't care where she is. This is whatever, each clip. And then Olivia would have found her dead from suicide.
Yeah.
And Liv and then would have found out she never even slept with anyone. She was never a
And
prostitute.
then she'd
this
be
whole
like,
time.
your daughter, she was never even a prostitute.
And then she was like, what? Dun, dun.
Yeah.
Yeah. We hate that.
So that's a full episode.
We were screenwriters. We were in the room when that episode was directed. Come on now.
That is so
No, we just ate that. We just ate that.
That is a full episode.
And when she went to go live with her dad would have been like a drug addict or something.
He would have been a drug addict.
It would have been such a bad experience for her.
It would have been from an abusive situation to a worse.
She was a worse abusive because when she was living with her mom, she was at a prep school with her other friend. He's also at a prep school.
Yeah.
And she had to go live with her dad.
No, but definitely something sexually bad had to happen to her because it's SVU. So maybe when she went to live with her dad, because
but not always, because it's a lot of people like that episode
accusing.
Yeah, they were accusing her of sexual violence,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. That's why Tutuola was asking the prostitutes.
Yeah, he was going
around, and Olivia was like, it was young girls getting pimped out in the area for real, but it wasn't her.
But it wasn't her.
And that's why she committed suicide, and that was the especially heinous part of it.
And then somehow they got one of the hackers to go into her stuff. They figured out none of that was true.
No.
They figured out her friend lied on her. They figured out her friend liked the guy.
The girl kills herself. They tell the mom, and the mom is like, I don't care. She's still in denial.
Mm-hmm.
They tell the friend while she's sitting in the room, like,
Yeah.
and she's like, did you know that she committed suicide? And the friend finally breaks it. She's like, okay, I lied. She never slept with anyone. Da, 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 type
But
thing.
before that even happens, you know how they really get to the tea?
What?
They talk to the guy. They figure out that the friend and her, they like the same guy.
They like the same
and then
guy.
They talk to the guy.
And he's like,
you didn't know?
He's like,
she was jealous of her all the time.
no, they talk to the guy. They tell her that she's dead. And he's like, oh my gosh, like, I really liked her so much. And they're like, what? Tiffany told us that you liked her. And he's like, what? Tiffany, she's like always stalking me. I'm not into her. I literally told her 2 weeks ago that I like such and not her.
And
then that's when they bring Tiffany in for questioning.
Yeah.
Because they're like, this isn't making sense anymore.
lied.
And they're like, you're a liar. And then she finally breaks and she's like, okay, she's not a prostitute. She's literally the only friend that we still have that's still a virgin. And da-da-da. And she goes off. The mom is there watching the girl go off.
And now
the
she's
mom
feeling
finally
sick.
breaks down.
Yeah. She's feeling sick.
And we did that.
That's the full episode. It's basically like, did y'all see it?
Did y'all envision
We
it?
described it.
No,
we just gave a description for a full
SVU
Law and Order episode. Yeah.
Lindsay, we gotta get in the booth.
Somebody put us in the writer's room.
We gotta get in the
Put us in the writer's room, seriously, because I'm like, I could give y'all award-winning, Emmy-winning television shows.
Come on.
That was really good.
on.
That's an episode I would watch.
I would watch that.
I'd watch an episode.
Come on.
Yeah. Real stuff.
Y'all don't know. Well, some people do know how it feels to be a multifaceted girl.
Well,
Because, hey, sometimes you just feel like you're wasting your potential.
always, because you're doing one thing when you feel like you could be doing
You could be
this.
doing another, but we're getting crazy off topic. We're going to end this episode here, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to end it. Maybe we'll talk in another episode about potential. But,
No, I'm like, before we go somewhere else with this, yeah.
yeah, before we take it way
Yeah.
to somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another episode. This is the second episode, basically, of the People's Court. And for real, we said it the first time. We're gonna say it again. Make sure that you guys send us stories. Let us know in the comments how you feel about our sentencing.
Yeah.
Let us know if we were too harsh or if we were right on the money.
And how y'all would sentence these folks. Because I feel like this episode, for sure, we were right on the money.
We were right on
We
the
were even
money.
a little bit more lenient.
We
than
were
usual.
so lenient.
We
on
were
this
very
one. Yeah.
lenient on this episode.
Yeah.
So, period. Let us know. And we'll see you guys in another episode.
See you next time. Bye.